Former First Lady Lucy Kibaki passes on in a London hospital while undergoing treatment. Opposition coalition CORD continues with its push for reforms of the electoral body. And the tribunal probing Supreme Court Judge Justice Philip Tunoi continues with its hearing.
It is now top of the hour, 1 p.m. here in Nairobi and 11 o'clock in London. If you are just joining us, this is our continued coverage of the death of former First Lady Lucy Kibaki. President Uhuru Kenyatta made the announcement at about 11:30 a.m. here in Nairobi, saying the First Lady had been ill over the last 1 month. Good afternoon, I'm Betty Kialo, and Newsdesk begins right now. Now, former First Lady Lucy Kibaki is dead. Lucy died today morning while undergoing treatment at the Bupa Cromwell Hospital in London, where she had been admitted for a long illness. Announcing the death of a former First Lady and condoling with the family, President Uhuru Kenyatta said Mrs. Kibaki will be remembered for her immense contribution in the development of the country. Lucy is survived by her husband, Mwai Kibaki, and 4 children. The news of her death was officially communicated by the President through a statement from State House. She was indeed a strong and also a passionate individual who very many Kenyans continue to pay tribute to for, of course, things that she did in the country in regards to development, and of course some of the campaigns that she took on while she was First Lady. Let's now take a look at some of the memorable moments of Lucy Kibaki.
Ordinary First Lady. Nyeri is where it all began. Lucy, a pastor's daughter, was born in 1940 in Mukorene to Reverend John Kagai and Rose Nyachomba. She began her educational journey in Nyeri before she joined the prestigious Alliance Girls High School. She was later to take up the chalk and chalkboard after training as a teacher. She rose to the position of a principal and oversaw operations at a teacher training college in Kiambu. But her fortunes would begin to change. In 1960, she met the man who would become her husband, Mwai Kibaki. Kibaki had just returned from Makerere University after resigning as an assistant lecturer in economics. The Lucy Kibaki romance went on for 2 years, during which time Kibaki served as an executive officer for KANU. In 1962, Kibaki married Lucy. The same year, he left his role in KANU. A year later, Kibaki was elected to the Kenyan Parliament after Kenya gained independence in 1963 and began a political journey that would see him occupy the highest office in the land. Under the Daniel Moi presidency, Kibaki rose from Minister of Finance to Vice President before being demoted to the Ministry of Health after falling out with Moi. After the restoration of multi-party democracy, Kibaki resigned from government in December 1991 and founded the Democratic Party. His shot at the presidency in 1992 was unsuccessful, and so was his bid in 1997. Lucy Kibaki did not secure residence at State House just yet. But in 2002, under the National Rainbow Coalition, Kibaki was elected president, and Lucy, who had remained in the shadows during Kibaki's political journey, became Kenya's third First Lady. It soon became clear that Lucy was not your ordinary First Lady.
I was angry.
She did not shy away from expressing her feelings, albeit sometimes in what many saw as an abrasive manner. When in May 2005, the Daily Nation published a story alleging that she had stormed the house of her then neighbor, World Bank country director Makta Diop in Muthaiga at midnight to demand that he turns down the music during Diop's farewell party, Lucy stormed the Nation Center, staged a sit-in and slapped a cameraman, accusing the paper of printing lies about her and her family. But that may have just been the beginning of her dramatic episodes as First Lady. Lucy, who upheld family values, made Kibaki convene a rare press conference to affirm his monogamous marriage to her.
I want to make it very clear that I have only one dear wife, Lucy, who's here.
And from now on, continue to tell the truth, not lies. I've been partners. The president did not say that. We have been tormenting us. I don't know what to get out of it.
For Lucy, it was a love-hate relationship with the media.
Immediately, I nearly came to your studios last night to attack you the way I did in the nation. I saw you listening to somebody called Waited about the president. Telling lies. Covered by so many people. You, foreign journalists, ambassadors, know them.
For those who rubbed her the wrong way, she dealt with the situation on the spot. At a State House Jamhuri Day garden party in 2007, Lucy slapped the master of ceremony after he referred to her as Lucy Wamboi. Still at State House, she is said to have slapped former MP Gitobo Imanyara in January 2008 after he disagreed with the view that Budalangi MP Ababu Namwamba be sued for an attack on President Mwai Kibaki.
And she immediately started throwing punches at me. She said, I'm not welcome to State House. It is her house. Nobody goes there without her permission.
Lucy spoke her mind, defending the government with a no-holds-barred approach, even when dealing with ministers in Kibaki's administration. When over 100 people died following a fuel tanker explosion in Sachangwan, she turned the heat on the then Internal Security Minister, the late Professor George Saitoti.
The minister who is there today, and I'm going to say Minister Saitoti, he waits until he hears of bandits in Northeastern, bandits somewhere else, and the next day you see him there.
But despite the episodes that made her capture the headlines and her seemingly abrasive nature, Lucy Kibaki had another side to her. She had a soft spot for women and children issues and the challenges facing the youth.
I assure you and the other children in the country that you can count on my aware and unwavering support in the agenda of promoting the rights of children. Nina mpango wangu vijana. Nitakuja hapa nikutane na nyinyi na tuone vile tutaweza kufanya kazi pamoja. You women give things easily, many don't. At this century, you should know you have to be aggressive to get what you want.
The First Lady stood by and defended her husband, dismissing his critics. She was at the forefront campaigning for his re-election in 2007.
Rais wetu anamaliza miaka 5, tunamwambia ati hawezi kumaliza 10. Kwa nini? Amefanya nini?
But Lucy, who had stayed behind the scenes before Kibaki became president and who remained in the limelight for just over 8 years of her husband's presidency, would disappear from the public eye 2 years short of the end of Mwai Kibaki's tenure. Her jig during the promulgation of the new constitution at Uhuru Park on the 27th of August 2010 was the last Kenyans saw of her. It was her last public function. Her absence from events that many saw as important and close to the Kibaki family raised eyebrows. She was absent during the burial of Kibaki's longtime friend and confidant John Mishuki, and days later she failed to attend the burial of another close ally of the Kibakis, Njenga Karume. She missed the opening by Mwai Kibaki in February 2013 of a hospital in Kayole named after her, the Mama Lucy Hospital, whose location she chose and which was constructed using funds donated by China to ease congestion at the Kenyatta National Hospital.
Amekuwa amiri jeshi mkuu wa majeshi yote ya ulinzi ya Kenya.
She was also conspicuously absent when Kibaki handed over power to Uhuru Kenyatta in 2013. Her whereabouts raised speculation until the 11th of March 2016, when official reports indicated that she had been admitted to the Nairobi hospital. But even then, the nature of her ailment was not exactly clear. Now, following her failing health, Lucy Muthoni Kibaki is gone forever. A controversial First Lady, Lucy Kibaki, will be remembered for different reasons. But the mother of four, no doubt, gave a different meaning to the role of First Lady. Rita Tinina, KTN News. Now, following her failing health, Lucy Muthoni Kibaki is gone forever. A controversial First Lady, Lucy Kibaki, will be remembered for different reasons. But the mother of four, no doubt, gave a different meaning to the role of First Lady. Rita Tinina, KTN News.
Well, she was definitely cut from a different cloth. She was going to be remembered for so many things, fondly and also on the controversial side. Now, let's take a look at some of the memorable pictures of Lucy Kibaki right from when she was younger to the time that she was First Lady. Let's take a look. Right, we continue to remember her even here on KTN News. Of course, her relationship with the media was sweet and sour at different points, but all the same, she is a woman who's remembered for her great works in regards to women's rights, defending women's rights, and of course, tackling HIV and AIDS, especially with the Pamoja Tuangamize Ukimwi campaign that she, of course, was side by side with her husband, former President Mwai Kibaki, and of course, seeing that many people who are infected or affected would leave positively, something that very many Kenyans remember her so fondly for. Right now we want to speak to George Orido, who is a journalist with the Standard Group, and of course he's joining us from Kisumu. George, now you interacted with the former First Lady. First of all, you covered her quite frequently, and even at some point you got a letter of appreciation from her. Talk to us about what you remember mostly about her, and even your experience as a journalist interacting with her.
Betty, thank you. And my first condolences to President Mwai Kibaki for the loss and the family. My interaction with the First Lady was unique because she was known to be a little bit abrasive with the media. Mine was the opposite. I'd paid attention to the choir she had started, the First Lady State Choir, and they were singing well. And I thought it was time to reflect on their works. It was led by one June Ogola, who she had tapped from the SOS village in Nairobi. Mm-hmm. And they did a good job. So I watched a lot of them performing in the national events, especially at Nyayo Stadium mm-hmm. or elsewhere. And now we looked at this music and we realized that it's one of the few mm-hmm. government-sponsored choral groups that did not sing propaganda or matters political. Yes. They restricted the music to spiritual songs, and when I wrote this story, she was very happy. Mm-hmm. She not only wrote me a letter of appreciation, a long one at that, and signed by her, she also wrote a letter to the editor, actually making those appreciation, words of appreciation public. And I have a copy of that. And you can imagine how she wrote and said, I wish to know that I was motivated mm-hmm. to establish the choir for 3 reasons. One, she says her choir was to help build bridges to give national identity to young people. And she was also using that to create job opportunities for the talented. And you know, that choir had many young people who are full-time employed at State House, and they, for the period that Mama Lucy was at State House, they earned a living in a way that they had never done before this choir was formed.
Right, George. Let's talk a bit about this choir, because this is another interesting angle to the former First Lady that many people seem to have forgotten about, that, you know, this choir really, really meant a lot to her. And like you said, the songs were different. They were not political. They were just, you know, songs that would praise development or certain aspects of positive things about the country. But what sense would you get, you know, even with interacting with the choir, about the kind of person who she was vis-a-vis the kind of person who the public knew, someone who was, you know, many times combative?
Yes, you know, Isaiah Kabira, then the head of Presidential Press Service, would tell you that the best way to have Mama Lucy mellow was to give her good music. Okay. And Isaiah told me, when he called me, that, you know, the first time he called me, and he told me that Mama Lucy was looking for me. First of all, the reaction was shock. You know, I was like, what have I done? And he told me, no, take it easy. She's very, very pleased. She's very happy with you, and she wants you to come to State House so he can just give you a word of thank you. And he told me many a times, everything would come to a standstill at State House and make everyone read that article. So she loved music, and whenever there was good music, right, Mama Lucy came alive
Right.
Yes.
Right. Thank you very much, George. We'll be talking more about her and, of course, your interaction with her a bit later. Interesting conversation there. But for now, we want to take a short breather here on KTN Newsdesk. Keep your comments, of course, coming. Remember, the hashtag to use is RIP Mama Lucy Kibaki. Let me sample one or two messages here. Evans Omwenga says, Mama, you were a great inspiration to women of this nation. We will always remember you. Very many messages coming in from different Kenyans across the country, of course, talking about how they fondly remember Lucy Kibaki on. Well, we take that. Welcome back to KTN Newsdesk. Thank you very much for staying with us on this day as we continue to cover the death of former First Lady Lucy Kibaki. Very many messages coming in, of course, paying tribute to the late First Lady, who, of course, had a great impact on different Kenyans from different walks of life. Very many messages of condolences going, of course, to her family, of course, that is really going through this tough time. Thank you very much for staying with KTN News as we, of course, continue also to bring you up to speed with other stories, of course, that are very important and are still making headlines. Now, the tribunal investigating bribery allegations against suspended Supreme Court Judge Philip Tunoi this morning continued with its proceedings. Two police officers attached to the Criminal Investigations Department were giving their evidence to the Sharad Rao-led tribunal. Now, here is part of the morning proceedings. Right, let's bring in Michelle Ngele to just bring us up to speed with what took place at the Sharad Rao-led tribunal. Thank you very much, Michelle, for holding fort. Bring us up to speed with the two policemen who were witnesses, giving their evidence today as witnesses at the tribunal.
Good afternoon, Betty. Well, this morning, in fact, we expected the main witness and whistleblower, Geoffrey Kiplagat, to take the stand, but both the prosecution and the defense decided to stand him down until tomorrow morning, where the tribunal will be heading for a site visit at the petrol station, where Kiplagat claims that the actual bribe took place. And so in his part, two other police officers, and that is CID officer Peter Kipto, as well as Assistant Inspector General of Police Stanley Cheriot, took the stand, both of them recanting the details of the 17th of October 2014, and that is a day when Geoffrey Kiplagat is said to have visited both CID officers at the CID headquarters here in Nairobi. Now, Kiplagat had approached the two officers with a complaint, of course, after recanting that he had agreed to facilitate the 200 million shilling bribe from Kidero to Tunoi, but he told the two officers that he had been informed by Kidero's agents that he would receive a 30 million shilling facilitation fee from Justice Tunoi after the exchange had taken place. But according to the two officers, Tunoi told them, Kiplagat, I beg your pardon, told them that after several calls to both agents of Kidero and Tunoi, he realized that he would not receive his 30 million shilling facilitation fee. And so he moved to the CID officers to ask them for help in retrieving this money. And what he wanted the officers to do is to either accompany him to both Kidero and Tunoi's offices to demand for his money, or have the two officers threaten both Kidero and Tunoi to see that he receives his 30 million shilling facilitation fee. But Betty, these two officers before the tribunal today gave quite contradictory statements. One of them saying, okay, both of them took the stand that Kiplagat refused to file a complaint, saying that he only wanted his money and not a formal investigation opened. Right. But while one officer says that after that conversation, Kiplagat left the office saying that he would come back with documents to the effect that Tunoi had bought 2 pieces of land with the money that he received. The other one says that Kiplagat only informed him that he had just heard that Tunoi had bought 2 pieces of land and had no documents to prove that. And that is just one of the contradictory bits of information that were given treatment by the police officers here today. But tomorrow, the tribunal will be heading to Waiyaki Way, to that petrol station where Kiplagat claims the bribe took place. Betty.
Right, and thank you very much for that update, Michelle Ngele there. Of course, we will be waiting to see what that site visit, of course, will bring on to this twist and turn of events in regards to that tribunal of Justice Philip Tunoi. Right, let's also bring you up to speed with other stories making headlines. And Kisumu Governor Jack Ranguma and CORD supporters were this morning tear gassed near the county offices as they marched towards IEBC offices in Milimani in a bid to kick out the commission's officials. Now, businesses in sections of Kisumu were closed for the better part of the morning as Governor Ranguma led hundreds of ODM youth in a bid to storm IEBC offices. Police in riot gear lobbed tear gas canisters and shot in the air to disperse the youth who were headed to the Electoral Commission's offices in Milimani Estate. Now the youth engaged police in running battles, with Ranguma promising that he would be back. Police cordoned off key roundabouts and businesses as they fought the youth who were chanting ODM slogans and calling for the removal of the IEBC chair Isaka San and other commissioners. Right, so this, of course, is with the end of KTN Newsdesk Part 1. Remember that Part 2 continues on KTN News channel. And, of course, you can cross over there in case you're on our home channel for the continuing coverage of the passing of a woman who has been called an icon and, of course, as a defender of women's rights. I'm talking about the former First Lady Lucy Kibaki, who died this morning in London after an illness, a period of illness. Thank you so much for watching KTN Newsdesk, and see you again on the KTN News channel. Thank you very much, Betty Kialo. See you soon. Goodbye.